Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Right then, so a little bit of sort of skirting around Doctor Who and the ever amazing fandom of Doctor Who. The biggest problem that Doctor Who faces is its own fandoms. I say fandoms because it's not one particular fandom, let's be honest. It's now little segments of groups of people who can be kind of linked in as a fandom, even though one section of the fandom hates the other section of the fandom, because that's just a reflection of society in general, isn't it? We've got to be tribal, because that's what us humans are, whether we like it or not. We're tribal people, and we all try and stick together, and, you know, just, it's silly. I mean, I've said it many, many times on my channel, and I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face, and I know it makes no difference because no one really listens. But the simple truth of the matter is, it's just a TV show when it all boils down to it. So, in any case, I mean, it's a TV show that a lot of people like, and it's a cultural icon here in the UK. Let's be brutally honest. There's no denying that. I mean, Doctor Who. You say name a UK TV show, and Doctor Who will be one of them that comes off people's mouths. And probably not so much now, but it used to be. Everybody knows Doctor Who, so you know, pretty cool. So, it's now, obviously, we all know, coming back on the BBC very soon. And they've now on the iPlayer have the Universe, where you can go and watch every episode of Doctor Who that's available. There are some missing episodes which you may be aware of. And on the Why We Love Doctor Who chat podcast, if you go on my channel, there is interviews with Philip Morris and Ian Levine. Both these guys have been instrumental in recovering lost Doctor Who episodes, of which, of course, anyone who follows Doctor Who, ignore my cat trying to kill my chinchilla. And to both of them, we'll ever be eternally grateful for returning some of those lost episodes. And as I said, I've had the privilege of interviewing and talking to both men. Now, there is a reason why I've mentioned them, and there is a reason why I've mentioned iPlayer, and now I'm going to be clever and bring the two together. And now, it's almost like I don't know what I'm doing. I love watching my cat do this. Now, the chinchilla's safe. The chinchilla fights back and has bit the cat loads of times. You thought the cat would have learnt by now. But in any case, let's carry on. So, when it all came out on iPlayer, there was a hoo-ha where Steph owns the rights to The Unearthly Child. And the BBC wouldn't offer enough money, so we won't let them have it. Now, this, of course, causes huge ructions amongst Whovians. And they're all upset. Well, some are upset, some are like, okay, whatever. But there's a huge, yeah, you bastard, you can't do that. Well, he can, whether you like it or not. And in reality, it's between Steph and the BBC. And it's absolutely got nothing to do with anyone else. But of course, we live in the modern world where everything that everybody does, as somebody's got to have an insight and something on it, which is, you know, the way it is. And we have to accept this. And we have to accept that, you know, people are going to stick their nose in where it shouldn't belong. And that's, you know, just the way it is. So, in any case, now there's like, we you know, oh, and we get people like Ian, which is why I mentioned Ian Levine, who's now completely outraged at this, and somehow has managed to get a copy of the will and testament and wants to get it reversed and wants the BBC. But the thing is, one, as much as people who love Doctor Who, as much like people who love Star Trek and Star Wars and any other show or anything else, you know, they really love it and it's a passion of theirs, always seems to want to believe and think that their particular show or their particular thing is loved by everybody. I mean, you know, we can use the TV analogy where they tell you a story, like what was it, Cologne Rooney and somebody else arguing over something pointless, and that gripped to the nation. Well, it doesn't, does it? And that's the same with Doctor Who. You're kicking up a fuss over something that the vast majority of people don't care about. If you said, what show does The Unearthly Child come from, to 100 people, 100 people, you might get, if you're lucky, if you bump into a Whovian who may know it, the rest of the people will go, I don't know, Star Wars, Star Trek. They probably wouldn't say Doctor Who because they don't know. And then if you did say, oh, do you know what's so important about The Unearthly Child as a TV episode? Again, no one would notice. No one would care. Everybody would be like, I don't know. Because they wouldn't, because they're not that interested. And like, loading up, there's Looney, loading them all upon iPlayer is great, but let's be brutally honest, the only people who are really going to watch them are Whovians, people who love Doctor Who. The average Joe on the street isn't going to be remotely interested, isn't going to want to know, couldn't give a shit. May have a quick look at it, probably watch, and you'll get people, you'll get people who perhaps watch the David Tennant ones because it's David Tennant. But you probably won't get a huge amount of people watching the classics, for instance, because they're not interested. Now, certain people like Ian and other people seem to have this self-appointed role as gatekeepers of Doctor Who. And they really are outraged over the fact that you can't watch, you can't watch An Unearthly Child on BBC iPlayer. Even though the only people who are really complaining are people who probably already own copies. And you can still buy copies. And you can find it if you go looking for it in certain places on the Seven Seas. So it's not like you can't, if you really, really want to, get a copy or watch The Unearthly Child. But to go to the level of paying, because you can, I mean, I don't know if anyone knows about it, but if you ever will, once it's done and it's finished, it becomes a public document and anyone can apply to see that document and you have to pay a fee to have that document. I mean, why the fuck you'd want to do that? I don't know. Look at somebody else's will. It's got nothing to do with you. Well, this has clearly happened. And Ian seems to think it's now gives carte blanche for the BBC to demand because it's got nothing to do with you. And you shouldn't really be that obsessed over something that you get hold of their will, the final will and testament, to see if there's a way that you can force that person to show an episode that only you can give a shit about. I've watched The Unearthly Child. I think I've watched it twice. I watched it a while ago, and then I watched it when me and John did the Why We Love Doctor Who live stream. But I mean, I like Doctor Who, but I don't really. I know a lot of people do, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I when I did the live streams with Why We Love Doctor Who, I was in awe of these people who have this vast knowledge of the show because they know all the episodes and everything's. And I'm like anything. I think anything, any sort of any show, any hobby, any skill, I'm always in awe, genuinely in awe of people who can do that particular thing because I think it's fascinating. And to see the knowledge that people have of things of which most people don't care about, but it's nice sometimes to listen to true experts, and that's great. But for you to be kicking up such a huge fuss over something that no one really cares about, you care about it, and I get it, and I understand, it's an obsession, but why? You own the copies. It's not like you can't watch it. So I don't understand the obsession, especially as it's going to be on iPlayer, which is the BBC. No one's going. I bet you, if it was on there, let's give it a year from now, from when it started, a year. And of course, you never get the figures from iPlayer in any case. But I bet you if they did give you the figures, you'd find that they were watched, but they're not going to be watched by loads of people. Because Doctor Who isn't that important to the vast majority of the population. Just as Star Trek isn't, Star Wars, Blake 7, Space 1999, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You could just list them on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. I mean, my wife absolutely loves Only Fools and Horses. Me personally, I could take it or leave it. Yeah. Like, she'll watch her soaps. Well, I don't know why, but she does. Because she enjoys them. I don't know why, but, you know, so I can't, I struggle to get my head around why it has to be such an obsession to get something on BBC iPlayer that everybody, if they really wanted it, can still buy. Or you can still find a copy of it if you're that desperate, of which most people aren't. Sometimes I've tried to, I mean, I sit in a unique position where I see the fandom as it is. And I'll call people out if I need to. Very rarely, because as recently proven, the second you do, you just get a shitstorm for no reason. Because loyalty to friends, I get that. I do. I understand that because I'm loyal to my friends. But, you know, I mean, it's like if somebody called me out, the thing is, the difference between me and everybody else, I don't care. Because if that's the opinion you formed of me, then there's no point in me attempting to solve it. But in the solution and solving of everything, if it's just going, well, look at your shitty curtains. Oh, and by the way, I haven't watched the video. I've just been told. Because I genuinely don't care. As far as I'm concerned, when I say something like that, I move on. Like this one, you know. I mean, the thing is, remember that I have a past with Ian Levine, because after we did that wonderful interview, and it was a fantastic and fascinating interview, and that's why it's still up, because it's up there because of what it was talking about. And it was fascinating. Because of certain members of this wonderful fandom who decided to just spew a load of lies about me and John, Ian publicly lobbed us under the bus. So, I mean, why? I don't know, because people can't take the flack. And the thing is, I just don't understand why people throw people under the bus. I mean, if it's terrible, the way of treating somebody, to be fair. But, you know, but in any case, you know, and at one stage I was going to remove that video. But then I realised of how important it actually is. So people can access it. That's fine. I've left it up. By rights, after the way I was treated by Ian and some of his followers, I have all the rights in the world to just destroy that and never have it up. But I'm not like that. Because that was a fantastic piece of work, and you get an insight into the work and ethics and the way they've done things to recover those episodes that were missing. So, in any case, The Unearthly Child, look, if it bothers you that much, go and buy the DVD. It's that simple. I'm sure you can get it. And if you can't, you definitely can get it on the 7 Seas. And on magical fire sticks and stuff like that. You can see it wherever you want to see it. So, stop being blinded by obsession for no reason. You're obsessing. Clearly, you're doing it for yourself. Because no one else gives a shit. You are acting like the self-appointed gatekeeper that you and several other people think that you are to Doctor Who, and you're not. Yes, we'll be eternally grateful for you recovering those lost episodes. But that doesn't give you the right to dictate to everybody else. And with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you wouldn't mind. That'd be much appreciated. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's there and it would be nice. And, of course, anyone who does, I'm eternally grateful for. There's a comment section down below. It's there. I will try and answer every comment that comes up, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Just in the last few days, I've unfortunately had to block people off because we're all trying to be clever and insulting and trying to turn things into personal attack. The thing is, you can say whatever you want to say about me. You can do whatever you want to do. Because I'm not going to go crying to mummy. I'm not going to turn around and say, you slandered me. I'm not going to report this, that, and the other because I don't care. Because that's your opinion of me, and if you've made that opinion, that's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's an opinion. You don't have to cry over it. You don't have to take the piss, try and be funny, clown about it, or do anything like that. You don't have to do anything like that. The simple truth of the matter is, what I'm saying is my opinion, and that's it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you agree with it or not, because that's what an opinion's all about, isn't it? But you know, I don't dwell on it. I don't dwell on things. Oh, like this video, I'll do this video, and then I'll move on. I don't dwell on these things. But sometimes, you know, trying to insinuate that people are thick and stupid and this, that, and the other because you dare to say something you don't agree with, it's wrong. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. It is what it is. Life's too short and all that. But hey, thanks for watching. And with that, I'm going to go. Whenever you watch this video, I hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. And with that, and as always, and until the next one, I am going to love you and leave you.